This week in science, students will be able to describe a local habitat by collecting data in order to compare the diversity of life in different habitats. A habitat is a place where a plant or animal lives.
People live in all kinds of places. So do animals. There are animals all around us. An animal's neighborhood is called a habitat. Every habitat provides an animal with food, water, shelter, and space to move around in. Animals and plants depend on each other for survival. Most animals eat plants. Other animals eat animals that eat plants. Plants depend on animals to fertilize the soil and to help plants spread their seeds so that more plants can grow. Animals live in different habitats and have different purposes in nature. If all animals ate the same things and lived in the same place, there wouldn't be enough food to go around, and it would be very crowded. There are many kinds of habitats. Some are hot, and some are cold. Some are dry, and some are very wet. Some are high, and others are low. Underground or underwater. Forests have lots of trees, but grasslands have almost no trees. Wetlands have lots of water, but a desert has very little water. Each habitat is just right for the animals that live there.
Plan an investigation of your neighborhood's habitat. Think, how will you record plants and animals? Could you draw or use tally marks? Where will you look?
Welcome to my backyard. I live in Baltimore County just like you. I'm wondering if my backyard is a habitat. What two things does a habitat need? Well, let's see if we can find some things that birds might need. Keep looking and see. Do you see a food source for birds? Do you see a water source for birds? I see a food source for birds. It's empty. The only seeds left now are the ones that fell on the ground. They're also now food for squirrels. Do you see a water source? Look closely.
One water source was a bird bath in my neighbor's yard. Now I know my habitat has food and water sources. I'm going to take pictures of ground plants, birds, and insects. Then I'm going to draw them and collect my data. How many will I find? How many different kinds of birds can I find? How many birds could you count in the video? Take a look at these pictures. Some of them have only one bird. Some have more than one bird. How many do you see? Can you find all 4 birds in this picture? How about in the next video? I also looked for data about bird nests. Where would a bird put a nest? Would there be a nest in here? The roof of my shed had a hole. There was a nest in the shed. I also had a nest on the porch.
Bushes with fruit or berries can also be a food source for many birds and animals. Look at the evidence I found that a bird has been visiting my garden. I found a blue jay feather sitting right next to my shovel.
To record my data, I put a tally mark each time I saw a different kind of bird. How many different kinds of insects can I find?
I've been doing a lot of gardening and digging in the dirt. My dog's digging in the dirt too. As I dug in the dirt today, I found an invertebrate, or a small bug. This is a larva. He's going to become a beetle someday. As I keep digging in my garden, I found a locust shell. This is a shell left behind by a locust. If I look closely, I also have a slug today. And let me see if I can find that worm. Here he is. And some small worms.
Pill bugs or potato bugs have a neat way of protecting themselves. Can you see them now, rolled into balls? Can you find the insects in this picture? Let's zoom in. Do you see the bees now? This leaf bug is hard to spot if he's on a plant, but I found him.
And just as I was looking for evidence of different kinds of bugs in my yard, one flew right into my coffee. Oh my!
To record my data, I used drawings and labeled them. How many different kinds of plants on the ground can I find?
Most people hope their yard is filled with lush grasses. My yard has grass, but it also has a variety of other plants. Do you see the different leaf shapes of different plants? Let's take a closer look.
As you look at the many ground plants in my backyard, find differences. What are the shapes of the leaves? How big are they? How many leaves are there on each plant? Do any of the plants have flowers?
Wow, isn't it amazing? There are so many different kinds of plants just on the ground in my backyard.
I recorded my data with labeled pictures. Habitats have both food and water sources. It's amazing just how many plants and animals visit my backyard habitat. How will you collect and record data in your neighborhood habitat? Have you ever found a spider in your house? Check out how these students use data and find a new home for a spider.
Okay, Science Alliance, today we get totally wrapped up in a new mystery. Aunt Jenna and Uncle Julius were just finishing their lunch when a small visitor dropped by.
Whoa, little fella. You don't belong here. Let's get you back to where you have everything you need to live.
But they wondered, where do you live?
Finding a home for a spider? Now that's a problem.
We'll need to collect some data and examine the facts.
How will the facts fit together to solve the problem?
Uncle Julius found a spider in his house and wanted to give it a good home.
The spider was in a place that it would most likely not want to live, or at least the people that live there would not like it to live.
And we were trying to find some place to put it.
Discovery Science Alliance. Today's mission, how can we find out more about animal habitats to solve this mystery? Let's learn more about spiders so we can help put it back where it can live. Safety stop. Get an adult to help you investigate animals and their habitats. Be respectful of nature and always leave things the same way you found them. An animal's habitat is where it lives. An animal's home is a lot like your home. It provides everything it needs to survive: food, water, and shelter. Earth has so many different types of habitats: deserts, coral reefs, forests, plains, marshes. Let's take a look at a few habitats where we might want to release our spider. Have a look at this web graphic and let's figure out what a spider might need in a habitat. They're seeing a lot of places to put a web here, but what if someone plays right there?
I don't think a spider could live here because if somebody fell, they would destroy the spider's house.
I don't think the spiders would be here at all because they're usually in corners, trees, or darker areas.
Good thinking. Spiders would probably like to live somewhere a little quieter.
But if they were in here and through these little pipes,
Their house won't get destroyed.
Yeah, way out of view.
This yard is quieter, but I wonder where the spider could put its web.
They could build them in between the plants, or right here, or against the corners.
Maybe by those bushes? Where would it get water?
When people water the plants.
So where would the spiders find their food?
They eat the bugs.
Okay, that's good. So they like the bugs, huh?
Ah, here we go. They're seeing a lot of bugs in the forest. That's what spiders catch and eat in their webs.
Very skinny branches. Not very much coverage.
There are also plenty of bushes to attach her web to.
Do you think you'd be able to find food here?
Yeah.
Yeah, where?
There'd be flies around the water and they'd fly into his net.
In the morning, the dew collects on her web and she can drink it.
I found a spider web.
Nice house hunting, gang. After investigating outside, let's wash our hands and record what we know in our Science Alliance lab notebooks. We know Jenna and Julius thought the spider should go to a new home, but where? Turns out an animal's habitat needs to provide them with food, water, and shelter. Okay, Science Alliance, you've got the evidence. What do you think? Where is the best habitat for the spider?
The best place for a spider to build its web would be in sort of like a wedge, like in like a corner where like two base points touch each other.
A best place for a spider to build its web would be a tree or a grassy area, because there's lots of flies.
When a spider builds its web on a tree, it's high up from the ground and safe.
And different types of insects so that they can eat constantly.
I think the best place for a spider to build its web would be in a crevice or a crack in a wall so that no one will see them and try to kill them.
Nice! We figured out the spider would be able to find bugs for food, dew for water, and nice low bushes for its web in the forest. Wonder what you'll discover as you investigate habitats.
Today I collected data to describe my backyard habitat and show how many different kinds of life I could find. Now it's your turn to explore a habitat near you.